So in this video we are going to discuss the fundamentals of Google Ads. So if you are an accountant and you want to run Google Ads for your firm and you don't understand the actual fundamentals of Google Ads, of course you need to understand the fundamentals and the foundations of the platform that you are going to use if you really want to actually beat your competition with those ads that you are running. So in this video we are going to discuss the fundamentals of Google Ads so that you have a better understanding of how Google Ads actually will work and perform for your accounting firm. First of all, I will quickly introduce myself. My name is Daan and I'm the owner of Accounting Kings. Every single month we spend around $50,000 on Google advertising for accounting firms, and it works really well. And I basically create these videos because I just want to share the knowledge that I have so you can implement it yourself and actually make money, since I know for sure that accountants, they have such a good service most of the times, and so many business owners can actually benefit from working with an accountant. And it's just unfortunate that a lot of accountants don't really know how to get in contact with people outside of their own network. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive right in. So the first thing that you need to understand is that Google is actually an auction. Every single time that someone is doing a search of, for example, business accountant in my area, the first couple of results, so the top of the search, will be actually advertisements for Google, and it's an auction. So it is actually not the person that is going to pay more that will be on top, which is like a typical auction. The one that is going to pay more gets the best results, but it's also actually the one that has the better campaign. And this is a really good thing, because if you have a better campaign, it means that you can bid 50% of the person that is, for example, bidding $10, you can bid $5 and still be on top of the search. And the reason why you really want to be number one of the search is because you will get the most clicks, which is of course the thing you want, because the more clicks you are going to get, the more leads and the more clients. But you will also actually get the best quality of the clicks, because nobody, unless you are a little bit of a weirdo, is going to go to page 2. Same thing with the amount of search scrolls that you are going to make. If you are going to scroll 10 times and then you are going to take a look, nobody is really doing that. People in general are pretty lazy, and they just do a search on Google and they click on the first thing that they see. So if you are on top of the search, you will get the most clicks, but also the highest quality of the clicks. So that's why it's really important to understand the fundamentals of Google Ads, because if you don't understand that Google is an auction based on the amount of money you are willing to bid on this click, combined with how good your campaign actually is, if you don't understand that fundamental thing, then you will never really understand why your campaign is really good performance-wise or is not really performing at all. So that's number one that you really need to understand. Google is an auction based on the bids, on the clicks, the cost per click, but also on how good your campaign actually is. So fundamental one is of course the cost per click and how much you are going to bid. This is very straightforward. Other thing is, how good is your campaign? This is based on ad rank. So every time someone is actually doing a search, there's an ad rank, and there are about 4 ads typically with a search, and every single ad has an ad rank. And what I will actually do, I will share my screen and I will explain how this ad rank works, how you can actually improve your ad rank and actually be on top of the search without paying the most amount of money. So without further ado, let's dive into my screen right now and I will explain how ad rank works. Okay, so one thing that you need to understand if you want to know how ad rank works, it's based on the performance of the campaign, as I said earlier, and also the amount that you want to bid on this keyword. And the ad rank is actually the end result of the what you want to bid and the quality score. Quality score is the performance of the campaign itself, right? It's a combination of those two. So let's say in this example, we have Sam, Mary, Jane, and Pat. And Sam, his campaign is really good. He has a quality score of 10. This almost never happens. A quality score of 10 means that your expected click-through rate, and I will dive into those things in more depth later on, but the expected click-through rate is very high, the landing page experience is very high, and the ad relevance is very high. And I will dive into those 3 things later on in this video. But first, let's just stick with the second layer of the foundation of Google Ads. So first layer is it's an auction, and the auction is based on who is on top is based on the ad rank. So you can see over here that Sam is basically scoring at 20 with the ad rank. And you can see over here quality score times max bid makes 20, okay? Same thing with Mary, same thing with Jane, same thing with Pat. So you can also see that Sam is only bidding $2 to get that specific click, and he is still on top of the search. You can also see that Jane is bidding $8, but is not even actually appearing in any of the searches. So what you can see is that if you have a really good campaign that Google actually likes, is that you don't have to bid that much money to actually be on top, get most clicks and the best quality of the clicks. And that's something that you want to achieve. So you can be the highest in the auction. Or actually, there are two ways that you can actually be the highest in the auction. You can bid the most amount of money, which of course you don't want to do because there's not a lot of longevity in this unless you have a lot of money. You actually want to have the best campaign and bid the lowest and still be on top, which is kind of the goal that everybody wants to achieve with Google Ads. So if you're doing Google Ads for your accounting firm, you now know that you win the auction by having a really good campaign and of course by still bidding some money, but you don't have to bid the most amount of money to actually be on top. So how this works, you basically do the quality score times the money that you want to bid is ad rank. Ad rank is how high are you going to be in the whole auction, okay? And to actually have a profitable Google Ads campaign, you don't always have to be on top of the search. We actually had campaigns where we were competing with Intuit, QuickBooks, and also 1-800-Accountant. And 1-800-Accountant has a lot of money, like they have unlimited money that they can spend on Google Ads. But still, we actually managed to have a really, really profitable campaign. And we were typically at the second of Google Ads, probably also because people were looking for a more general accounting firm and they still were converting more from our ads. So you don't always have to be number one in the search to be profitable. Of course, you will be more profitable because you get more clicks and a lot of times also better quality clicks, but it doesn't mean that if you are at point 2 or even point 3 that you cannot make a profit from your campaign. But of course, it will help and it's always the goal to be number one. By now, you should understand that Google is an auction and you win the auction by actually bidding money and also by having the best campaign. And you have the best campaign by having the best quality score. And I will actually dive into what quality score is right now, okay? There are a couple of factors affecting the Google Ads quality score. That is accepted click-through rate, CTR, ad relevance, and also landing page experience. CTR, click-through rate, is basically out of 100 people, how many people are clicking on your ads. That's like the percentage that you typically get if you filter on CTR in Google Ads or in any other digital advertising platform. Same thing with Meta ads, for example, or LinkedIn. And what you need to realize is that advertising platforms, same thing with Google, Meta, LinkedIn, Yelp, whatever platform you're using, they want to make sure that their users are having the best experience with ads possible. The reason why the method that Google is using with the quality score is a very beneficial method for Google, for the user, and therefore also the advertiser is because the quality score is making sure that the users are having the best experience with the ads. Because you can imagine if you are a user, right, you are looking for an accountant on Google and you have a really good experience with the ad. So you click on the first ad you see, you actually like the landing page, you actually submit a form and you actually schedule a meeting with the accountant and you really enjoy the accountant. They're doing a really good job at pitching the service. You really like the pitch, you have a good connection with the accountant. You sign up with the accountant and have like a relationship of 10 years with the accountant because he's doing a really good job. The chances of you clicking on an ad in the future are very high because you had a good experience using the platform. Google is incentivizing the advertisers to create good experiences for the users. So the users are actually coming back to Google, clicking on more ads and converting more often. Okay, this is why it works so well, because it's a positive feedback loop. Google is actually rewarding us as the advertisers to create good campaigns, because if we are going to create good campaigns, we get a good quality score and we can actually be on top of the search without paying more. Okay, so Google is rewarding us for creating good campaigns and we create good campaigns by giving the users, aka the searchers in this instance, a good experience. And we give them a good experience by creating good ads, good landing pages, and converting them. I will dive into what this is, but it's really important that you understand why Google is using the system to understand the foundations of Google itself. If the users have a good experience with the platform, they click on more ads and they are going to convert more often. This is going to make Google more money. If every single time someone does a search on Google, they click on an ad, Google makes money. And this is the ideal situation for Google, because Google wants, of course, to make as much money per user of the search platform as possible, which means they need to make sure that every single time someone is doing a search on Google, they click on an ad. And they can only make sure that every single time someone does a search, they click on an ad if the searcher had a good past experience with the ads on the platform. Okay? So that's really important to understand, because the more times, the more often someone is doing a search on Google and clicks on an ad, Google makes money. Every single time that someone is having a good experience with Google Ads and Google in general, they will come back, which means that there are more users of Google, which is good for the advertisers. All the three people in this whole Google Ads world universe benefit from having good campaigns. Google is making money, the advertisers will have more use to advertise to, and the users, the searchers, will actually find what they are looking for. You now understand that it's an auction. Google is an auction. You win the auction by bidding money, but mainly by having really good ads. And you now also know why Google is using something like quality score, because it's beneficial for all three of the people using the platform, the advertiser, Google itself, and also the user of the platform. Now, you get a really good quality score by having a good expected click-through rate. Expected click-through rate is basically what is Google expecting to be the click-through rate. In the ideal world, you are doing a search, for example, small business accountant in Houston. You are doing this search and you find exactly what you are looking for. You find an ad that says small business accountant in Houston. This is the search I made. This is the actual result I get. That's in the ideal world. All the searchers and the users that do those searches and they will see that exact ad or result are more likely to actually click on it, because you are simply giving them exactly what they were looking for. If you create those ads, you essentially give someone what they look for, they are more likely to click on it. So that your expected click-through rate will be higher, which is something that Google will reward you for. You will get a higher quality score if Google thinks you will get more clicks per 100 impressions. And you get more clicks to make ads that are more aligned with the searcher, with the search that the searcher made, okay? So that's the expected click-through rate. You need to actually create ads that are very aligned with the needs of the searcher. And if Google sees, hey, this advertiser really understands what the searcher wants, and the user of our platform a lot of the times actually click on those ads, which means they have a good experience, they find what they are looking for, let's give this person, this advertiser, a high expected click-through rate. That's a high expected click-through rate. It's very simple. Out of the 100 searchers, how many of those will click on your ads and favor your ad over your competitors? And this is going to give the user a very good experience, because in the ideal world, every single time you do a search, you find exactly what you look for and you don't have to search for it anymore. And that means that you will come back, click on more ads in the future, make Google more money. You will have a good experience using the platform, and then the advertiser also wins. So every time that you are actually making an ad using the Google Ads platform or any other platform, have the user in mind first, because those platforms also know that if the user is having a good experience and they will use ads more often in the future, that their advertisers will follow. And that means that the money will follow. That means that the platform will make money. Okay? So that's expected click-through rate. It's very important to understand. With Google, you don't really have to be a really good copywriter to actually have a high click-through rate. You just need to make sure that your ad is very aligned with the thing that the person is looking for. And that actually brings us to ad relevance. Those things over here are a little bit aligned because if you have a really high click-through rate, means that your ad is very relevant in terms of what the searcher is looking for. Ad relevance is kind of a similar thing. Ad relevance is, let's say that we have an ad, or actually a keyword. We have a keyword that is small business accountant in Houston. And we have an ad that says best CrossFit gym in New York is not very relevant to each other. I don't know why someone will actually make an ad for those searches, but it's a very extreme example, the foundation of what I want to explain here. If you are actually creating ads for keywords that are not relevant to each other at all, the user is not going to have a really, really good experience. They are not going to use Google in the future anymore. So you need to create ads that are very relevant to your keywords. So that's basically ad relevance. And those things are aligned because if your ad relevance is very high, most of the times it also means that your expected click-through rate is very high because people find what they are looking for. You can also have a higher expected click-through rate by just creating headlines and descriptions with a good offer, with some pain points in there, or some design situations like save hours of your valuable time, or make sure you don't get in trouble with the IRS. Just things that kind of like an emotional reaction. By actually putting those things in your ads combined with the exact search that someone is doing, you will most of the times get a very high expected click-through rate. It will take some time and data before Google actually realizes, hey, this is actually a really good ad. So from the start, from the get-go, typically you will have a quality score of like 5 out of 10. Most of the times you can never really get a 10. I have had it seen a couple times, but it doesn't happen that often. So that's important to remember. You always need to give it some time and some data. But that basically is ad relevance. You need to make sure that if you have a keyword, that the keyword is in the headline and the description. It's more aligned with the actual search, okay? And again, always keep the user in mind of the whole campaign that you are creating. So if you have a high expected click-through rate and your ad relevance is high, you also need to have a good landing page experience. And a thing that you need to remember with landing page experience is that there are a couple of things with landing page experience. It's loading speed, for example. If someone clicks on your ad, they see the best ad in the world. They click on it and it takes 10 seconds to actually load the landing page. Nobody will convert because if you do a search and it takes 10 seconds, you will go directly to the second result from the search and nobody will convert. Of course, this is again an extreme example. I like to think in extremes because it always shows the foundation of what you want to explain. Landing page is based on the loading speed, but also how many times do you actually see the keyword in the actual landing page and how relevant, again, I say relevant because relevance is very important in Google Ads. And how relevant is this landing page to the search that I made? In the ideal world, you want to have a situation where someone does a search. They find an ad exactly what they were looking for, and the landing page is exactly what they expected to be. They actually convert and they work with you. That's the ideal world. So you want to make sure that the keyword is very aligned with the ad and that the ad is very aligned with the landing page. If, for example, in your ad you say, we are a small business account in Houston, if that is the keyword and the ad, but they land on a landing page where you say, we are a CrossFit gym in New York, they're not going to convert. Also, another thing that to keep in mind, you need to make sure that if you are creating an ad for tax planning for business owners in Houston, that you have a landing page tailored to this service. That's exactly what we actually do. Every single time that the business owner, for example, makes a search, and the reason I'm using business owner as example is because that's the typical thing that most of our clients are after. Business owners looking to outsource their monthly accounting and tax services. If you are advertising, for example, tax planning, you need to have a landing page tailored to tax planning. If you're advertising bookkeeping, you need to make sure that you have a landing page tailored to bookkeeping. I've already made a video on the best landing pages, so you can look at my recent videos and you will find it in there. But to have a high landing page experience, make sure that it's very aligned with the actual ad and with the actual search, aka keyword. And also loading speed is important, but most of the times if you are using a semi-modern software to build your landing pages, that's typically taken care of. Also make sure that you don't use a lot of stock photos. Google knows if you are using stock images because they can basically scan, hey, is this image somewhere else on a different landing page or on a different website that is not from this advertiser. They know if it's a stock image. So use personal content that is aligned with the search combined with a fast loading speed. This will make sure that you have a high landing page experience because they can also see if the users of the Google platform actually like your landing page by actually seeing if they are converting. If they are actually clicking on the call button or if they're actually filling in the form, which you are tracking if you are doing Google Ads the right way, which basically means that Google knows, hey, this click actually converted, so they actually found what they were looking for. It means that the user has a great experience with the landing page, which means that the landing page experience of the advertiser will be higher. Okay? With every single time that you are going to create a campaign in Google Ads or in Facebook, LinkedIn, or whatever platform, always keep the user in mind, because if the user wins, you will win. Because if the user has a good experience with the ad, it means that they will interact with more ads in the future, means that more advertisers make money, means that they are going to spend more on the platform, which means that the platform makes more money. So it's a positive feedback loop. By now you know Google is an auction. You win the auction by bidding money, but you don't want the fact that you have money to be kind of like the unique way of you winning in Google, because at some point there will be someone with a better campaign and then you can bid $100 for a click, you still don't win. So you win with Google by having a better ad rank, and you have a high ad rank by bidding money, but also by having the highest quality score, and you have a high quality score by having a high expected click-through rate, basically having good ads that are giving an emotional reaction, and by being aligned with the actual search, having high ad relevance, again, making sure that your ad is having the exact keyword in the ad copy itself, so it's very relevant to the searcher, and by having a landing page experience that is giving the user a good experience. They actually see the thing that they were looking for, the exact thing. Because you can actually think about it. If you do a search on Google, a very specific search, for example, something totally different from accounting, you do a search for red Nike football shoes in my size, and you find exactly that thing and the exact shoe that you imagined, of course you are going to buy it, and you will probably be pretty impressed, and you will click on more ads in the future. If you are doing a search, digital bookkeeping for business owners in Houston, and you get an ad exactly what you were looking for, and a landing page is giving you exactly what you are looking for, and they are even giving away a free 15-minute consultation, of course you're going to click on it, you're having a good experience, and you're going to click on more ads from Google in the future. And that essentially is how you will win with Google Ads. And again, if you are going to create a really good campaign, you will not have a very high quality score in the beginning. As a matter of fact, in the beginning, you probably don't have a quality score at all. If we have like a general accounting firm, bookkeeping business, or because we work with accounting firms, but also take on bookkeepers and tax professionals. But if they're looking to outsource the monthly accounting and tax, we have a couple hundred keywords in there. In the beginning, the majority of the keywords, they don't even have a quality score, because the keywords didn't have any impressions yet. There's no data at all. So it takes some time to actually get the quality score. But at some point, as Google sees, hey, this is getting a lot of clicks per 100 impressions, the ad is very relevant to the search, and the landing page is optimized pretty well, you will have a very high quality score, and you will get a lot of clicks, high quality clicks, and you will actually convert. Because that's also something you need to realize actually. I want to make myself a little bit bigger here. Something that you actually also need to realize is that Google really wants to give the highest quality clicks to the actual best advertisers. Google has more data about you than you actually think. When you are creating your Google Ads account, for example, you need to also attach your credit card to the Google Ads account, otherwise Google cannot charge you. And they already sometimes know your credit card. And they already know exactly where your business is located and what the business name is, which is convenient because, of course, then you don't have to fill in the information and it saves you time and some hassle. But it's also a little surprising about how many things and how much data Google actually already has from you. But that's also beneficial because Google has a really good understanding of which searcher is actually likely to convert, but also what the value of this actual searcher is. Hopefully now you have a good understanding of how this works, and I will give you some more insights in my normal camera right now. So Google has a really good understanding of which person is actually likely to convert and which person not, and but also how much money is this person actually likely to spend with this business. Most people, they used Google for like 10 years, and most people have used and clicked on ads and maybe converted based on those ads. And they know for sure, okay, if this searcher is actually seeing this ad based on the expected click-through rate, there is a X percentage that they will click on here. But Google also knows, based on the history of the searcher and based on how many times they actually opt in for those type of ads, what is the percentage that will actually become a lead, give a call or submit a form? They will actually also charge more for those clicks based on this data. They also know how much money you have essentially. They know based on the searches that you made before, how much money does this user have. If you are looking for a Rolls Royce and you actually almost bought one versus you are looking for a Toyota, they know how much money you have to spend. And they actually want to show the highest quality ad to the highest quality user, because the user is going to actually spend more money using Google, which is more profitable for the user. So the user is going to spend more and then Google actually makes more. So again, it's like the three basically people using the platform and benefiting from the auction is the user that is spending more money on Google Ads because they have more money. The advertiser is more willing to actually pay more, which is beneficial actually for Google. And Google has the data. They know, okay, well, this searcher is likely to convert and has more money, so we are going to bid more for this click. By having better ads, the chances of your ad being shown to those high quality clicks and actually getting a really high quality lead that is able to afford your $4,000 per month CFO package, you need to have high quality campaigns to even get in front of those people. So that's also something that you need to understand. Google is not going to show your new campaign that you've been running for a month and you only had a couple hundred clicks. They're not going to even show your campaign to the people that can afford those very high revenue services, because they really need to make sure that those people and the searchers that are going to spend a lot of money have a really good experience with the ads, because those type of searches are worth a lot of money for Google, and they of course want to make sure that they have a really good experience. And we actually see this with all of our clients too, where there are days that we are not spending any money, just like normal general working days. And typically when I was starting out 5 years ago, now it's actually 6 years ago, I was kind of stressed, like, why are we spending money this day? Like, what's going on? Do I need to change things? And now I know there was simply not a searcher on that day that was worth our money. Other days we are spending zero, and then the day after we are spending $100 a day, but we are also generating leads, because Google knows, okay, well, the searchers of this day not likely to convert and they don't have any money. So we're not even going to spend any money and bid any money on those clicks because they are not going to convert, and this advertiser is probably not even happy if we actually give them those clicks. So that's really important that you actually know Google has its favorite clients because Google wants to actually have good ads to show to their users, and they don't really want to have those people that advertise with Google for like 2 months and then they give up because they were stressing out and being emotional about it and they don't continue. Google does not really want those people. They want to have people that actually come in, they have professional ads, people that realize, hey, this is not like a thing that I try for a couple weeks and then I make $100,000 from it. Now, Google wants to have actually people that come in with a very professional approach, professional ads, they give the user a good experience. Then Google knows, okay, well, the user is having good experience. Now they actually are worth very high quality clicks. And the whole system that Google created, the whole auction system, is a very good system because it's user first, it's client first. At the end of the day, the advertiser is a client of Google, but also the user itself. And if the user is having a good experience, as I said earlier, then the advertiser will have a good experience because then we have more people we can advertise to. So it's definitely beneficial to have a long-term thinking approach with Google Ads, because Google is going to favor you if you are actually advertising with them for a longer period of time. So a couple of practical tips. If you are already running Google Ads for your accounting firm and you're not really seeing that great results, take a look at how long have I already been advertising on Google. If you only have been advertising for a couple of weeks with a very low budget, it's not very reasonable for you to expect to get a very high quality client. It takes some time before Google is actually going to show your ads to business owners doing a couple million per year that are looking to actually outsource their monthly accounting and tax services. Take a hard look, how long have I actually been advertising with Google and how much did I actually spend in this period. Then number 2 is also take a look at your quality score. Inside of Google, you can actually, if you are inside of the search keyword section, you can actually filter in columns. You can filter on quality score and also expected click-through rate, ad relevance, and landing page experience take a look at, okay, well, this is actually the thing that my campaign is lacking right now from all my keywords, and then decide, okay, well, this month I'm actually going to focus on creating more relevant ads. Okay, so take a hard look at what are the things that you need to improve. If you see, hey, my ad relevance is very low, then start creating better ads that are more relevant and look if you can actually get your ad relevance up. If you see, hey, my landing page experience is very low, it's like scoring a 1 or a 3, then start taking action. Take a look at my older video of the best landing pages for accountants and start making some new versions and iterations of your landing pages. Also, make sure to give it enough data. If you spend only like about $500 per test and you expect to go from like a 3 landing page experience to 10, that's not very reasonable to expect. But I definitely had experiences where we spent $500 and we go from a 3 to a 5. And in the auction, that can make a lot of difference, because if your competition is very bad, then you can still be on top of the search and make the most amount of money. I also made a video earlier on the channel about how much you actually need to spend in terms of budgets and what to expect to actually get results. So you can also take a look at that. It's typically, if you spend a couple $1,000s on Google Ads, it's 2025 right now, January. So if you're watching this in 2030, it probably changed. But for now, if you are spending a couple $1,000s, it's reasonable to actually get some results from Google. If you only spend $100, don't expect anything to happen from Google. It's a very, I wouldn't say long-term approach, but it's definitely not a very short-term approach. Short-term is just sending out a couple of cold emails and hoping to land some. But yeah, of course, you are a business owner, you are in this game for the long term. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are an accountant and you are looking for more monthly accounting and or high revenue tax clients, and you don't really have the time to do your own marketing, or you don't know exactly how to do this, there's a link in the description. You can click on it, and in this basically landing page, it's a landing page actually designed for you to book a meeting with me or someone from my team, so that we can essentially give you some free advice on how to get better clients and more clients for your firm, and how we can potentially help you. It's no obligation, so you can just schedule a call if you want to. First link in the description. Again, thank you so much for watching the video. Like the video if you got some value from it. Leave a comment if you have specific questions. Subscribe if you don't want to miss any other videos. And again, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.